Yesterday, late afternoon, DK Metcalf and the Seahawks agree to a 3-year, $72 million extension. We have the full breakdown of the details of the deal at PFT. $30 million signing bonus. That's a record for receivers. He'll have $43 million cash in hand by May 15 of 2023. And most importantly, Miles, this isn't one of those deals with a bunch of phony baloney BS on the back end that ties the guy to the team until he's 32 years old. It's a 3-year extension on a 1-year commitment. He's got 4 years, and he's back at it again. He's a free agent, or he gets a contract extension before then. He's still going to be in his prime when this contract is ready to be renegotiated or expires.
Well, it's one of those deals where, it's a win-win, right? You get the team, you have your best receiver, one of the top receivers in the NFL. I don't think that, I'm saying anything out of school when I say that. He really is really, really good, and he made Russell Wilson look great. So I feel like when you got somebody like DK Metcalf, that's the type of thing that you want to do. You draft, you develop, you reward. That's the way it should be. And so the fact that Metcalf, gets a new contract, will probably get a new contract when he's still in his prime. That's great for him. And if you're the Seahawks, you have somebody who can help you uplift the offense when you're going to have ostensibly Geno Smith or Drew Lock be your starting quarterback, because frankly, they're going to need that.
And they're also going to need, now that they have DK Metcalf, an offense that more creatively gets the ball in his hands, more so than just run your pass route, and if you're open, the quarterback will throw it to you. Use him like Deebo Samuel. Put him in the backfield. Jet sweeps, bubble screens, quick passes, ways to ensure that he has the ball and can take off with it and start running past or around or through people with that incredible physique that he has. But now that you're paying him, I think it's important to use him. And something I thought of, Miles, as you were talking just now about him becoming a free agent again, or for the first time when he's 27, because he didn't become a free agent, obviously. Right. I wonder whether or not Pete Carroll and John Schneider were willing to do a 3-year extension when most teams would insist on something more than that, a longer commitment. We're giving you all this money up front. We need more years to spread it out. We want you for more years beyond that. We want to have the benefit of that 4th and 5th year of the extension if you're still playing at a high level. Because even if you tear up those last 2 years, when you only do a 3-year extension, he's under contract for 4 years, you're back in a spot where you got to figure out what you're going to do with DK Metcalf after 2 or 3 years. He can put the squeeze on you after only 3 more years. What if he really bought? Yeah. Here's my theory. And it's not just crazy, what the hell are you talking about? It meshes with another story that's been percolating about the Seahawks. They're going to be for sale sooner rather than later, I believe. Now, if they're sold before May 1 of 2024, the state of Washington gets 10% of the proceeds, which means they're not going to be sold before May 1 of 2024. But this contract, to me, kind of has a little bit of the next owner can figure out what to do with DK Metcalf vibe to it. And maybe at some point in the next 4 years, there's going to be a new owner for the team. That's what I read into this. That it would have been a 4-year extension. Why would it have been a 4-year extension? I think within the next 4 years, I think this contract may be the clue that in the next 4 years there's going to be a new owner of the Seattle Seahawks.
Didn't they already? Well, I guess they said that the Seahawks aren't for sale right now, but wasn't the statement that it was right now? Yeah.
So I think it has to do with that date. Everybody read the first paragraph and said, "Oh, they're not for sale." Then you read the third paragraph, it's like, "Oh God, they're going to be for sale." It's just a question of when.
Yes,
and
exactly.
when is after May 1 of 2024, so they don't have to give 10%. I mean, think about it. They get $6 billion for the team. You want to write a check for $600 million to the state of Washington? Hell no. So, it's the clock is ticking, and I think that contract is a weird kind of a backhanded clue. Because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you ask for a 4th year? Because again, if you get a 4th year and he's under contract for 5 years, you get 4 years before you're back in a spot where the heat's on you to pay him again. It's just like the Dak Prescott deal. the Cowboys are going to be right back at it. And Prescott managed to get the leverage that allowed him to insist on a 4-year deal. But it accelerates the timeline that you have to deal with it again. My point is, by the time they have to deal with it again, it's not going to be Carolyn Schneider that has to deal with it. It's not going to be Jody Allen that has to deal with it. It's going to be whoever ends up buying that team for $5-6 billion.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up too. I mean, Pete Carroll's age, obviously, like it's a thing. You know, we got the oldest head coach in the NFL up there. So I don't think that's a non-factor when you're talking about players and, you know, the way that they are going to be under contract or are not going to be under contract. I mean, like Pete Carroll's not going to coach forever. I mean, he still has a youthful energy and a youthful vibe about him. And I don't think he's like going to be gone like tomorrow, but like. And
a youthful head of blonde hair all of a sudden too.
I'm sure you noticed that. Hey, did you see Russell Wilson on Twitter? Oh, congratulations, DK. I would have told him to kick rocks, man. Get out of here. You won the league. I made you look good, and you're gone. So get out of here. Like, send me a text privately. It doesn't have to be that public, corny.
It wasn't that long, man. It wasn't that long ago that Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf were openly talking about, like, setting the record for the most touchdowns ever by a quarterback and a receiver. Isn't it funny how that just goes out the window?
Yeah, it sure is. Oh, yeah. You're just sending me congrats all the way from Denver. I hope it snows on your house.
All right, well, wow. It will eventually because he lives in Denver. And we know that in Denver it can snow one day and be 80 degrees the next day in June.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.